Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the whole elect of Israel, the Hebrew Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. Gotta give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, or Hashem Yahweh Shah, the Most High, the Heavenly Father. His Hebrew name is Yahweh, not Yahweh, not Jehovah, not God, not Elohim, not Most High, not Lord, not Yah, not Jah, not Ahaya, not Allah. It's Yahweh, and his only begotten Son name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shai, not Yahshua, not Yeshua, not Jesus Christos, not Jesus Christ, not Serapis Christos, not Yeshaya, not Yehoshua. It's Yahweh Shai. So gotta give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekah Korash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all of Israel, whether accepted or not. And a sincere salutation to all the occupants pushing the truth and believing the truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world, waking up the hope for the elect. And shalom to the outwalk who are listening and learning, the few sisters who are listening and learning. I'm Isaiah from Jim Mesolano, coming at you another lesson in truth, facts, faith, and edification, another daily edification. Lord's willing, this be edifying. So this is kind of like a part two to the lesson I did last night, the trying of your faith, work of patience. So I'm going to get some examples of faith being tested in the scriptures. So I'm going to read Romans 15 and 4 first, because this is what we need. This is what we have to have. Faith, man. This is Romans 15 and 4. It reads, for whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, might have hope. So these different stories that we read is what it's a faith booster. It's a faith builder. We see what happened with our ancestors, man. That's why I tell you in Job, with that Job 8. This is Job 8 and 8. It reads, for inquire, I pray thee, of the former age, and prepare thyself to the search of their fathers. For we are but of yesterday and know of nothing, but our days upon earth are as a shadow. Shall not they teach thee and tell thee and utter words out of their heart? So search out our fathers, right? Our forefathers. Because I tell you this in Ecclesiastes 2, it say, Ecclesiastes 2 and 10 reads, look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? So we got these stories to read. We got these stories of our forefathers to build up our faith. So let's start this. So first, I'm going to get Daniel 3. Because these alls was tested. Their faith was tested, man. And this is going to happen to us in this time, in our lifetime, now, man. When judgment day hits, when all these things start to hit, man, these calamities, these catastrophes, these catastrophic events, it's going to, hey, you got to have faith, man, because we will be tested. The Lord testing us now on a small level. But when that time comes, hey, you're going to have what's the, I'm looking for the word, an unnumerous level of faith, man, an infinite level of faith when Jacob trouble started, right? So this is Daniel 3 and 1. It say, Nebuchadnezzar the king made an image of gold, whose height was 60 cubits, and the breadth thereof 6 cubits, and he set up in the plain of Dura in the province of Babylon. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king set together the princes, the governors, and the captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the province to come to the dedication of the image which Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. Then the princes, the governors, and the captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, And all the rulers of the province were gathered together until the dedication of the image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up, and they stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Then an herald cried aloud, to you it is commanded, O people, nations, and languages, that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king has set up, and whose fallen, and whoso falleth not down and worshipeth shall the same hour be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. Therefore, at the time when all the people heard the sound of the cornet, the flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and all kinds of music, all the people, the nations, and the languages fell down and worshiped the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. And that's why I tell you in Revelation 3 that Revelations 20, it said, and judgment was given to them who had not taken the image of the beast, right? Or worship, right? Why? Because these are those men that's not going to conform. They are not going to comply to the ways of these devils, man. There's nothing different. There's nothing new under the sun. Say verse 8. Whereof, it said, wherefore at the time that certain Chaldeans came near and accused the Jews that spake and said to the king Nebuchadnezzar, O king, live forever. Thou, O king, have made a decree that every man that shall hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music shall fall down and worship the golden image. And whoso falleth not down and worship it, that he should be cast into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. There are certain Jews whom thou hast set over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men, O king, have not regarded thee. They serve not thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. When you go to Daniel 1 and tell you that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and Daniel, and other men were from the line of the king's seed, man. Okay? So they definitely wasn't going to do this, man. It say, verse 13, then Nebuchadnezzar, in his rage and fury, commanded to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Then they brought these men before the king. Nebuchadnezzar spake and said unto them, is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, do not ye serve my gods, nor worship the golden image which I have set up? Now, if ye be ready, that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the image which I have made. Well, but if ye worship not, ye shall be cast the same hour into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. And who is that power? Who is that God that shall deliver you out of my hands? And Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter. If it be so, our God, whom we serve, is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of thy hand, O king. But if not, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. And that's why all these calamities going to happen, man. Hey, these things are going to happen. As it said in 2 Age 16, hey, they're going to come down on them that fear you. How about Shema Shai, man? It say, then was Nebuchadnezzar full of fury, just like right now, right? These devils about to come down with great wrath, man. Why? Because the hopeful elect is not going to conform or comply to none of these devils' ways, man. It said, then was Nebuchadnezzar full of fury, and the form of his visions was changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, whom he set up, along with Daniel, that was set up, right, over provinces. It say, therefore he spake and commanded that they should heat the furnace 17 times more than it was what to be heated, And he commanded the most mighty men that were in his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Hey, it say he commanded the most mighty men. Show you that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they weren't just no little peons, man. It say, and to cast them into the burning fiery furnace. Then these men were bound in their coats. It say their hosen and their hats and their other garments, and were cast into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Therefore, because the king's commandment was urgent, and the furnace exceedingly hot, the flame of the fire slew those men that took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Hey, that was showing power right then, man. That was the Lord was showing his power right then that burnt up these mighty men. And these three, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell down bound into the midst of the fiery furnace, into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king was astonished and rose up in haste and spake and said unto his counselors, did not we cast three men bound in the midst of the fire? They answered and said unto the king, true, O king. He answered and said, lo, I see four men loose, walking in the midst of the fire, and they have no hurt, and the form of the fourth is like the Son of Man, like the Son of God, Salakia. Then Nebuchadnezzar came near to the mouth of the burning fiery furnace, and spake and said, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, ye servants of the Most High God, come forth and come hither. Then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came forth of the midst of the fire. And the princes, governors, and captains, and the king's counselors, being gathered together, saw these men, upon whose bodies the fire had no power, nor was an hair of their head singed, neither were their coats changed, nor the smell of fire had passed on them. And the Lord said, there shall not one hair on your head be touched, right? It say, then Nebuchadnezzar spake and said, blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who have sent his angel and delivered his servants that trusted in him, and have changed the king's words, and yield their bodies that they may not serve nor worship any God except their own God. Therefore, I make a decree that every people, nation, and language which speak anything amiss against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego shall be cut in pieces, and their houses shall be made a dunghill, because there is no other God that can deliver after this sort. Then the king promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the provinces of Babylon. You see that? Faith, man. This is Daniel 6. It pleased Darius to set over the kingdom. This is Daniel 6 and 1. It pleased Darius to set over the kingdom of 120 princes, which shall be over the whole kingdom. And of these three presidents, of whom Daniel was first, that the princes might give accounts unto them, and the king should have no damage. Then this Daniel was preferred above the presidents of princes. Hey, show you how beautiful the Lord is, man. Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were in captivity and was set up over provinces, man. It say, then this Daniel were preferred above the presidents and princes because an excellent spirit was in him. Why? Because he was of the king's seed. When you go back and read Daniel chapter 1, man, you read Daniel chapter 1, starting at verse 1, he was of the king's seed. It say, because an excellent spirit was in him, and the king thought to set him over the whole realm. Then the presidents and princes sought to find occasion against Daniel. Hey, and this guy, Haman, did the same thing when you read the book of Esther, man. He did the same thing, man. They had to find some occasion against the Israelites, against their God and their laws, man. This is the only way. If the king did, let's read it. It say, then the presidents and princes sought to find occasion against Daniel concerning the kingdom, but they could not find no occasion nor fault. Why? Because of Matthew 5 and 25, because of Matthew 10 and 16, because of Jeremiah 15 and 11, man. Hey, we gotta, whoever we on the rulership over, hey, we gotta heed to these things, man. The Lord said, be wise as serpents and humble as doves. So it say, for as much as he was faithful, neither was there any error or fault found in him, because he was doing what he's supposed to have been doing, under the rulership of these heathens, right? But that don't mean we're gonna change our ways and go against Yahweh Shema Shah, because we gotta conform, we gotta comply. So like which it is called trimming our way to seek love at some point, right? It say, then said these men, we shall not find any occasion against this Daniel, except we find it against him concerning the law of his God. Then these presidents and princes assembled together as they always have done, man. They have been confederate against thee, right? Then these presidents and princes assembled together to the king and said, thus unto him, King Darius live forever. Now, see, they didn't come and tell him straight away that Daniel wasn't, that Daniel was doing what he was doing. So they had to set something up, right? And get the king to sign off on this. So when they caught Daniel doing something that was in this contract, oh, he going off, right? It say, all the presidents of the kingdom, the governors and the princes, the counselors and the captains had consulted together to establish a royal statute and to make a firm decree that whosoever shall ask a petition of any god or man for 30 days, save of thee, O king, he shall be cast into the den of lions. So they had to do this to try to set Daniel up, man. It said, now, O king, establish the decree and sign the writing that it be not changed, according to the law of the Medes and Persians, which alter not. Wherefore King Darius signed the writing and the decree. Now, when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went into his house, and his windows being open in his chamber towards Jerusalem, towards the east, which we pray, he kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day and prayed and gave thanks before his power as he did aforetime. Then these men assembled and found Daniel praying and making supplication before his power. Then they came near and spake before the king concerning the king's decree. Hast thou not signed a decree that every man that shall ask a petition of any god or man within 30 days, save of thee, O king, shall be cast into the den of lions? The king answered and said, the thing is true according to the law of the Medes and Persians, which alter not. Then answered they and said before the king that Daniel, which is of the children of the captivity of Judah, regarded not thee. And that's us today, man. That's the whole elect today. We ain't complying. We ain't conforming, man. That's why I say in 2 16, they shall be cast out of their houses. Them that fear the Lord, man. It say, O king, nor the decree that thou hast signed, but maketh his petition 3 times a day. Then the king, when he heard these words, was sore displeased with himself and set his heart on Daniel to deliver him, and he labored till the going down of the sun to deliver him. Then these men assembled unto the king and said unto the king, know, O king, that the law of the Medes and Persians is that no decree nor statute which the king established may be changed. Then the king commanded, and they brought Daniel and cast him into the den of lions. Now the king could have did whatever he wanted to because he was the king. He was the king. Show you how cold the Lord is. This was to try Daniel, man. It was to test Daniel. It say, then the king commanded, hey, and Daniel prayed 3 times a day faithfully, man. And the Lord still tested him, man. The Lord still gonna test you, man. Then the king commanded, and they brought Daniel and cast him into the den of lions. Now the king spake and said unto Daniel, that God whom thou servest continually, he will deliver thee. Even a heathen knew this, man. And a stone was brought and laid upon the mouth of the den, and the king sealed it with his own signet and with the signet of his lords. Then the purpose might not be changed concerning Daniel. Then the king went to his palace and passed the night fasting. Neither were instruments of music brought before him, and his sleep went from him. This man know who Daniel was. Know how the Lord was dealing with Daniel, right? This man couldn't sleep. None of that. None of that. He couldn't eat nothing, man. It say he fasted. Then the king arose very early in the morning and went in haste unto the den of lions. And when he came to the den, he cried with a lamentable voice unto Daniel. And the king spake and said to Daniel, O Daniel, servant of the living God, is thy God whom thou servest continually able to deliver thee from the lions? Then said Daniel to the king, O king, live forever. My God hath sent his angel and have shut the lions' mouths, that they have not hurt me, for as much as before him innocency was found in me, and also before thee, O king, have I done no hurt. Then was the king exceedingly glad for him, and commanded that they should take Daniel up out of the den. So Daniel was taken up out of the den, and no manner of hurt was found upon him, because he believed in his God. It's about believing in Yahweh Shema Shai, man. And the king commanded, and they brought those men which had accused Daniel, and they cast him into the den of lions, them, their children, and their wives, and the lions had the mastery of them, and break all their bones in pieces, or every day, or ever they came at the bottom of the den. Then King Darius wrote unto all people, nations, and languages that dwell in all the earth, peace be multiplied unto you. I make a decree that in every dominion of my kingdom, men tremble and fear before the God of Daniel, for he is the living God and steadfast forever, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed, and his dominion shall be even unto the end. He delivered and rescueth, and he worketh signs and wonders in heaven and in earth, who have delivered Daniel from the power of the lions. So this Daniel prospered in the reign of Darius, in the reign of Cyrus the Persian. Now, when you go to the Apocrypha, right? Let me get this one first, and it's the prayer of Azariah. It's going back into the three older children. This is our prayer of Azariah 1:1. And they walked into the midst of the fire, praising power and blessing the Lord. Then Azariah stood up and prayed on this manner, and opened his mouth in the midst of the fire, said, Blessed art thou, O Yahweh, power of our fathers. Thy name is worthy to be praised and glorified forever, for thou art righteous in all things that thou hast done to us. Yeah, true are all thy works, thy ways are right, and all thy judgments true. And we went through this in the camp Saturday. The Lord don't do nothing. Hey, everything the Lord do is just, man. It say, in all things that thou hast brought upon us and upon the holy city of our fathers, even Jerusalem, thou hast executed true judgment. For according to truth and judgment didst thou bring all these things upon us because of our sins. For we have sinned and committed iniquity, departing from thee. In all things have we trespassed and not obeyed thy commandment, nor kept them, neither done as thou hast commanded us, that it may go well with us. Right? It say, verse 8, Wherefore all that thou hast brought upon us, and everything that thou hast done to us, thou hast done in true judgment. In true judgment. And thou didst deliver us into the hands of the lawless enemies, most hateful forsakers of God, and to an unjust king, and the most wicked in all the earth. And we are living amongst these devils now, the most wicked of all the earth, man. Babylon the Great, the virgin daughter of Babylon. Point is about faith. Now let's get this in Bel and the Dragon. Reading on about Daniel. This is the rest. It say this is Bel and the Dragon, chapter 1, verse 30. It say, Now when the king saw that they pressed him sore, being constrained, he delivered Daniel unto them, who cast him into the lion's den, where he was 6 days. And in the den there were 7 lions. Hey, completion. And they had given them every day 2 carcasses and 2 sheep, which then were not given to them to the intent they might devour Daniel. Now there was in Jewry a prophet called Habakkuk, who had made pottage and had broken bread in a bowl and was going into the field for to bring it to the reapers. But the angel of the Lord, now didn't Daniel tell Darius that the angel shut the mouth of the lion, right? It say, but the angel of the Lord said unto Habakkuk, go, carry the dinner that thou hast in Babylon unto Daniel, who is in the lion's den. And Habakkuk said, Lord, I never saw Babylon, neither do I know what a den is. Then the angel of the Lord took him by the crown and bare him by the hair of his head, and through the vehemency of his spirit set him in Babylon over the den. And Habakkuk cried, saying, O Daniel, Daniel, take the dinner which God hath sent thee. And Daniel said, thou hast remembered me, O God, neither hast thou forsaken them that seek thee and love thee. So Daniel rose and did eat, and the angel of the Lord set Habakkuk in his own place again immediately. Upon the 7th day, the king went to bewail Daniel, and when he came to the den, he looked in, and behold, Daniel was sitting. Then cried the king with a loud voice, saying, great our Lord God of Daniel, and there is none other beside thee. And drew him out and cast those that were the cause of his destruction into the den, and they were devoured in a moment before his face. These are examples of faith, man. This is Second Maccabees. As a matter of fact, let's get this first. This is Matthew 14:1. These are the story of our forefathers, man, that give us comfort. This is Matthew 14:1. And at the time Herod, the Tetrarch, heard of the fame of Yahushua, he said unto his servants, this is John the Baptist. He is risen from the dead, and therefore mighty works do show forth themselves in him. For Herod had laid hold on John and bound him and put him in prison for Herod's sake, his brother Philip's wife. For John said unto him, it is not lawful for thee to have her, because that's adultery. When he would have put him to death, he feared the multitude, because they counted him as a prophet. But when Herod's birthday was kept, the daughter of Herodians danced before them and pleased him, whereupon he promised with an oath to give her whatsoever she would ask. And she, being before instructed of her mother, said, give me here John the Baptist's head in a charger. And the king was sorry. Nevertheless, for the oath's sake, because birthdays is a heathen custom, right? This is what the heathens do. Tell you that in Jeremiah, Job 3, let it not be joined to the day of the month or the number of the year, man. We don't celebrate birthdays, man. It's a heathen custom. It said the king was sorry. Nevertheless, for the oath's sake, and them which sat with him at meat, he commanded it be given her. And he sent and beheaded John in the prison, and his head was brought in a charger and given to the damsel, and she brought it to her mother. And the disciples came and took up the body and buried it and went and told Yahushua. You see this? Hey, Paul had his head cut off, man. That's why he's saying, what is that, 2 Timothy 4:7, man. I fought the good fight of faith, man. Faith. These are the things that we gotta have, man, now. Because if you don't got it, hey, you're gonna be destroyed. Hey, what they say, Jacob to take, hey, what's the saying? They'll fall for anything, man. If you ain't standing for nothing, you'll fall for anything, man. This is 2 Maccabees chapter 6 and 18. It reads, just examples of faith, man, showing you how cold our forefathers are, man, are today, man, because they back now. It say 2 Maccabees 6 and 18. It reads, Eleazar, one of the principal scribes, an aged man, and of a well-favored countenance, was constrained to open his mouth and to eat swine's flesh. But he, choosing rather to die gloriously than to live stained with such an abomination, spit it forth and came of his own accord to the torment. As it behooved them to come, they are resolute to stand out against such things, as are not lawful for love of life to be tasted. But they that had the charge of his own provision, such as was lawful for him to use, and to make as if he did eat of the flesh, taken from the sacrifice commanded by the king. So they telling this man, listen, go get some lamb, some chicken, whatever, whatever is lawful for you to use, but we need you to deceive your people like you eating pork, right? This how these devils is, man. And when you watch every commercial on TV that got to do with food, it's pork and everything, man. Hey, gummy bears full of pork, man. Anything got gummy. Most of these gummy bears, whatever it is, man, it's full of pork, man. They used to put pork in the Skittles. Skittles used to have pork in it, man. It's a that in so doing he might be delivered from death, and for the old friendship with them find favor. But he began to consider discreetly, and this is, hey, this is the hopeful elect, not complying, not conforming. But he began to consider discreetly, and as became his age and the excellency of his ancient years and the honor of his gray head, what they say, your stats, your your reputation, right? It say, and the honor of his gray head, whereon was come, and his most honest education from a child, or rather the holy law made and given by power. Therefore, he answered accordingly and willed them straightways to send him to the grave. Hey, like, you gonna have to kill me, man. I'm not eating no pork, man. You gonna have to kill me. For it becometh not our age, said he, in any wise to dissemble, whereby many young persons might think that Eleazar, being fourscore years old and 10, were now gone to a strange religion. Hey, it's cold. As so, and so they through mine hypocrisy and desire to live a little time and a moment longer should be deceived by me, and I get a stain to my old age and make it abominable. For though for the present time I should be delivered from the punishment of men, just like Jake today. Oh man, it's my international connection. Here we go. So like you bear with me for a moment. Saying my connection is off. Salaki, Salaki. What's going on, man? Man. Anyway, can y'all still hear me clear? Cause I don't know if it's acting up. Said my connection is unstable. These devils, man. All right, the water. So continuing on, this a Second Maccabees 6:26. It reads, "For though for the present time I should be delivered from the punishment of men, yet should I not escape the hand of the Almighty, neither alive nor dead." Because we gotta pay. We come back in reincarnation, and we gotta pay, man. You gotta pay regardless. Wherefore now, manfully changing this life, I will show myself such as one as my age requireth, which is what? Honor to the younger, man. Just like our apostles, just like our spiritual fathers now, man. And leave a notable example to such as be young to die willingly and courageously for the honorable and holy laws. And when he had said these words, immediately he went to the torment. They that led him changed the good will. They that led him, changing the good will, they bear him a little before into hatred, because the foresaid speeches proceeded, as they thought, from a desperate mind. But when he was ready to die with stripes, he groaned and said, it is manifest unto the Lord that have the holy knowledge, that whereas I might have been delivered from death, I now endure sore pains in body by being beaten, but in soul am well content to suffer these things, because I fear him, man. Who? Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai. And thus this man died, leaving his death for an example of a noble courage and a memorial of virtue, not only unto young men, but unto all his nation. Hey, and Elder Yashwama said this the other day. Hey, what if the Lord what if the Lord having you to get your head cut off, but you don't feel nothing, man? What if he had you to go through these trials and tribulations, that this devil might come down with great wrath, and you don't feel nothing, man? Hey, I believe that too, man. Hey, I believe that, man. Let's get this. Right after second Maccabees 7:1, it came to pass also that 7 brethren with their mother were taken and compelled by the king against the law to taste swine's flesh, and were tormented with scourges and whips, man, just to eat pork, man. How much more for the MOTB, man? But one of them that spake first said thus, what wouldest thou ask or learn of us? We are ready to die rather than to transgress the laws of our Father. And this is the separation of the hopeful elect and the rest of the world, man. Then the king, being in a rage, hey, how much more these devils today, man? That's why I tell you that in Ecclesiastes 12:3, the keepers of the house tremble, man. Hey, they got 2/3. They going with everything, man. Then the king, being enraged, commanded pans and cauldrons to be made hot, which forthwith being heated, he commanded to cut out the tongue of him that spake first, and to cut off the utmost parts of his body, man. Come on, man. The rest of his brethren and his mother looking on. So bro, this is the things that these devils do, these Job 9:24s, man. These are the things that they do, man. Is I'm still good? Okay, the water. Let me make sure, because it's still saying your connection is unstable. Please wait while we trying to reconnect. So it say they done cut this man's tongue out, right? And it said the utmost part of his body, man. This is these are the atrocities of these devils, man. Now, when he was thus maimed in all his members, he commanded him, being yet alive, to be brought to the fire and to be fried in the pan. And as the vapor of the pan was for a good space dispersed, they exhorted one another with the mother to die manfully, saying thus. Hey, man, I don't believe this guy felt I don't believe none of these brothers felt none of this, man. Eleazar, it said, the Lord power looketh upon us, and in truth have comforted in us, as Moses in his song. Song of what? The song of deliverance. It say, which witness to their faces, declare, saying, and he shall be comforted in his servants. So when the first was dead, after this number, they brought the second to make him a mocking stock. And when they had pulled off the skin of his head with the hair, they asked him, would thou eat before thou be punished throughout every member of thy body? But he answered in his own language, in the Hebrew, and said, no. Wherefore, he also received the next torment in order as the former did. And when he was at the last gasp, he said, thou like a fury taketh us out of this present life, but the King of the world shall raise us up, who have died for his laws unto everlasting life. After him was a third made a mocking stock, and when he was required, he put out his tongue and the right so, and their right so, holding forth his hands manfully, and said courageously, these I had from heaven, and for his laws I despised them, and from him I hope to receive them again. And we will. And this what I read in the lesson yesterday. Ecclesiastes 41:3, man. Let's get that real quick. Ecclesiastes 41:3. Fear not the sentence of death. Remember them that have been before thee, and that come after. For this is the sentence of the Lord over all flesh. And why art thou against the pleasure of the Most High? There is no inquisition in the grave, whether thou have lived 10, 100, or 1,000 years. Hey, this is what we got to go through, man. Because of what? Because of sin. So back in 2 Maccabees 7, it say, verse 12. Insomuch that the king and they that were with him marvel at the young man's courage, for that he nothing regarded the pains, for that he nothing regarded the pains, man. Hey, this is cold, man. It's cold. Hey, just believing, just having faith that the Lord, hey, you know the Lord got you, man. The Lord very well might let you have, you ain't gonna feel none of this, man. These guys probably didn't feel none of these things, man. It's again, insomuch that the king and they that were with him marvel at the young man's courage, for that he nothing regarded the pains. Cold, man. Now, when this man was dead also, they tormented and mangled the fourth in like manner. So when he was ready to die, he said, thus, it is good, being put to death by men, to look for hope from God to be raised up again by him. As for thee, thou shalt have no resurrection of life. When we read Job 20 and Job 27, right? Job 21, you know, these devils, when they die, it's a wrap, man. The only lot they got to come back in is to rebuild the kingdom for 1,000 years, and they're going to be done away with, man. Verse 15, afterward they brought the fifth also and mangled him. Then looked he unto the king and said, thou hast power over men, thou art corruptible. Thou doest what thy will, yet think not that our nation is forsaken of God. And we not, man. We just under the curses. But abide a while, and behold his great power, how he will torment thee and thy seed. Hey, and when you read the 2 Maccabees, what the Lord did to Antiochus Epiphanes, man, hey, hey, his skin was falling off his body, man. It tell you that his men couldn't even smell his stink, man. Hey, he did Herod the same way, man. Because Herod was trying to destroy Yahushua, man. He killed a lot of babies just trying to find Yahushua, man. Hey, the same thing happened to Herod. It happened to Antiochus Epiphanes, man. But Antiochus Epiphanes got it worse than Herod did. Verse 17 say, 2 Maccabees 7 and 18, after him also they brought the six, who being ready to die said, be not deceived without cause, for we suffer these things for ourselves, having sinned against our God. Therefore marvelous things are done unto us. But think not thou that takest in hand to strive against God, that thou shalt escape unpunished. Hey, is that not, what is that? Proverbs 16 and 4, right? That's Proverbs 16 and 4. Let's read that. These things are done through faith, man. This is the Lord giving us examples of faith, man. The Lord, Proverbs 16 and 4, it said, the Lord have made all things for himself, yet even the wicked for the day of evil. Everyone that is proud in heart is an abomination to the Lord Yahweh. Though hand join in hand, he shall not be unpunished, man. So these devils got to pay. So back in 2 Maccabees 7 and verse 19, but think not thou that takest in hand to strive against power, that thou shouldest escape unpunished. But the mother was marvelous above all, and worthy of honorable memory. For when she saw her 7 sons slain within the space of one day, she buried with a good courage because of the hope that she had in the Lord. Hey, 7 sons, completion. Second Maccabees 7, man. These ain't no coincidence, man. 144, man. It say, because of the hope that she had in the Lord. Yes, she exhorted every one of them in her own language, filled with courageous spirits. She said that's today, and these 2/3 women's, man. We got the hopeful black women turning back. Hey, it's a her womanish thoughts with a manly stomach, man. Ain't no emotion. What no emotions in this mother right here, man. I cannot tell how ye came to my womb, for I neither gave you breath nor life, neither was it I that formed the members of every one of you. But doubtless the creator of the world, who formed the generations of man and found out the beginning of all things, will also of his own mercy give you breath and life again, as ye now regard not your own selves for his law's sake. Hey, when you go to Psalms, let's get this. Psalms 104 and 29 and reads this. Thou hidest thy face, they are troubled. Thou takest away their breath, they die and return to the dust. Thou sendest forth thy spirit, they are created, and thou renewest the face of the earth. That's reincarnation, man. We come back every third and fourth generation. He said, Exodus 20 and 5, he said, uh, destroying them that hate him and showing mercy to thousands of them that love him, man. You see? So back in Second Maccabees 7, it say, verse 24, it say, now Antiochus thinking himself despised and suspecting it to be a reproachful speech, which the youngest was yet alive, did not only exhort him by words, but also assure him with oaths that he would make him both a rich and happy man if he would turn from the laws of his fathers, and that also he would take him for his friend and trust him with affairs. This is what he telling the youngest son. But when the young man would in no case hearken unto him, the king called his mother and exhorted her that she would counsel the young man to save his life. And when he had exhorted her with many words, she promised him that she would counsel her son. But when she bowed herself towards him, meaning he had to be short, little, laughing the cruel tyrant to scorn, hey, they laughing at this devil Antiochus, man. Like this guy's a joke. You gotta be kidding me, man. You think we finna do this because you done killed my 6 sons? Hey, you might well finish the job, man. It say, it say, but she bound herself towards him, laughing the cruel tyrant to scorn, spake in her country language on this manner, O my son, have pity upon me that bare thee 9 months in my womb, and gave thee such 3 years, and nourished thee, and brought thee up upon this age, and endured the troubles of education. I beseech thee, my son, look upon the heaven and the earth, and all there is therein, and consider that power made them of things that were not, which is what? Hope. Because hope that is seen is not hope. And so was mankind made likewise. Fear not this tormental, but being worthy of thy brethren, take thy death, that I may receive thee again in mercy with thy brethren. While she was yet speaking these words, the young man said, whom wait ye for? I will not obey the king's commandment, but I would obey the commandment of the law that was given unto our fathers by promise. And thou, that hast been the author of all mischief against the Hebrews, shall not escape the hands of God. For we suffer because of our sins, and though the living Lord be angry with us a little while, it say us a little while for our chastening and correction, yet shall he be at one again with his servants. man. It say, verse 34, but thou, O godless man, and of all other most wicked, why? Because they was who? The Job 9 and 24s, these Idumeans, be not lifted up without a cause, nor puffed up with uncertain hopes, lifting up thy hand against the servants of power. For thou hast not yet escaped the judgment of the Almighty, who seeth all things. For our brethren, who now have suffered a short pain, are dead under power's covenant of everlasting life, but thou, through the judgment of God, shall receive just punishment for thy pride. But I, as my brethren, offer up my body and life for the laws of our fathers, beseeching power that he will speedily be merciful unto our nation. You see, they was praying, hey, it's about the nation, man. You got these Jakes. What is that? 1 Corinthians 4 and 8. They reigning like kings without us. These Jay-Z's and Jeezys and Dr. Dre's, which his woman took half of his bread, man. These P. Diddy's. Hey, listen, man. They reigning like kings without us. 1 Kings 4 and 8. They reign like kings without us, man. But they finna fall. They finna fall like mighty men, man. It say, but I, as my brethren, offer up my body and life for the laws of our fathers. And they doing on the left hand side, man, selling themselves out for nothing, man. And as the saying is, they selling their soul. Hey, our souls are not ours, man. Tell you that in 1 Corinthians 6. We are bought with a price, man, and we are not our own, man. So the thing that you're doing to receive these monies, hey, you're gonna lose your life, man. Grievous death, man. It say, beseeching power that he will speedily be merciful unto our nation. This is about nation building, man. Galatians 6 and 1. Ye that are spiritual, restore such a one in the spirit of meekness, man. It say, and that thou by torments and plagues mayest confess that he alone is God. And he did it to Antiochus Epiphanes. Read it, man. He tormented them so bad, man. He had to give the glory to Yahweh Shema Shah, man. In that in me and my brethren, the wrath of the Almighty, which is justly brought upon our nation, may cease. And it is. And we're seeing it now, man. You see the spirit in the earth is changing, man. It say, then the king being in a rage, handed him worse than all the rest. So he did the youngest son worse than all the other six, man. And took it seriously that he was marked. So this man died undefiled and put his whole trust in the Lord. Last of all, after the sons, the mother died. Let this be enough. Let this be enough now to have spoken concerning the idolatrous feasts and the extreme tortures, man. When you read these stories, man, these supposed to be the comfort and to build up your faith, man, to see, hey, they went down, hey, righteously, man. Fight, hey, let's get this. This is our Psalms 116. Hey, if it come to it, man, this what it comes to, man. This what it come to. The Lord said it in Revelations 2, man, and 10. This is Psalm 116 and 15. It reads, it say, if it comes, let me read 14. I will pay my vows unto the Lord Yahweh now in the presence of all his people. And this is what Eleazar did. This is what the seven sons and their mother did, man. Many others, man. It say, hey, Daniel, the three holy children, man. They did this in the presence of the people, man. To do what? To lift up the faith, man. To lift the spirits up, man. The Lord put the spirit on them to do it. It say, precious in the sight of the Lord Yahweh is the death of his saints. If it come to that, man, it tell you in 1 Corinthians 4 and 14, you're going to come back with Yahweh Shai, man. If it come to that. Again, Psalm 116 and 14, I will pay my vow unto the Lord Yahweh, now in the presence of all his people. Precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of his saints, if it come to it. This Psalm 118. It say Psalm 118 and verse 17. I shall not die, but declare, Salaki, I shall not die, but live and declare the works of the Lord. Yahweh Shema Shah. The Lord have chastened me sore, but he have not given me over to unto death. Because even if you die in the name of Yahweh Shema Shah, you ain't dead, man. That's not death. It ain't death, man. Let's get this. This is Philippians chapter 1. Let's read this. It's Philippians 1. So like it may be in 2. Hold on. So like bear with me for a moment. I was just reading this the other week. Um, this is Philippians 1 and verse 21. It reads, matter of fact, let's read 20. Philippians 1 and 20 says, according to my earnest expectation and my hope, that in nothing I shall be ashamed, but that with all boldness, as always, so now also Hamashiach shall be magnified in my body, whether it be by life or by death. For me, for to me to live is Hamashiach, and to die is gain. It's gain. Either or, man. To be on earth, to do the works, or to die in the name of Yahweh Shema Shah, doing the works, it's gain either way. But if I live in the flesh, this is the fruit of my labor, yet what I should choose or what not. For I am in the strait betwixt the two, having a desire to depart, to be with Hamashiach, which is far better. Nevertheless, to abide in the flesh is more needful for you. Why? To be here to do the labor. Because it tell you the harvest is plenteous. That's what Yahweh shall say, pray to the Father, right? That he send forth more laborers. Because the harvest is plenty, but the labors are few, man. So we want to be here to do the work. I read in 2nd Ezra 13, man. Blessed are those that be here, man. We need to be here to do the work, man. Matthew 13 say, blessed are your eyes for ye see, because it have been righteous men and prophets that desire to see these things that we see now, man. And the Lord is moving speedily with these prophecies, man. We need to be here to do the work, man. This is our duty to do, as it said in Luke 17 and 10, man. It say, for I am in the strait betwixt the two, having a desire to depart and to be with Hamashiach, which is far better. Nevertheless, to abide in the flesh is more needful for you. Our faith, man, got to be built up, man. You got to build up others. This is about the tabernacle of David that's being built. The breaches are being closed, man. We need to be here, man. Of course we are. We ready to get the hell out of here, man. We tired working for these devils, overworked and underpaid, man. But we need to be here to do the work, man. It say, nevertheless, to abide in the flesh is more needful for you, and having this confidence, I know that I shall abide and continue with you all for your furtherance and joy of faith. We need to be here, man. We need to be here to do the work, man. This proves faith, man. Patience. This is Hebrews chapter 11. I'm gonna start at 1. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. For by it the elders obtain a good report, which we know. Through faith, we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of power, which is Yahushua, so that things which are seen were not made of things which do appear. By faith, Abel offered unto power a more excellent sacrifice than Cain, by which he obtained witness that he was righteous. Power testified of his gifts, and by it he being dead yet speaketh. By faith, Enoch was translated that he should not see death, and was not found because power had translated him. For before his translation, he had testimony that he pleased power. Works, man. Works. But without faith it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to power must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. By faith, Noah being warned of God of things not seen as yet, as us today, by faith, Noah being warned of power of things not seen as yet, moved with fear, prepared an ark to the saving of his house, by the which he condemned the world and became heir of the righteousness which is by faith. By faith, Abraham, when he was called to go out into a place which he should after receive for inheritance, obeyed, and he went out not knowing whether he went. A faith Israelites, great millstone. By faith, he sojourned in the land of promise, as in a strange country, dwelling in tabernacle with Isaac and Jacob, the heirs with him of the same promise. For he looked for a city which had foundations, whose builder and maker is God. Through faith also, Sarah herself received strength to conceive seed, and was delivered of a child when she was past age, because she judged him faithful who had promised. Therefore, sprang there even of one, and him as good as dead, so many as the stars of the sky in multitude, and as the sand which is by the seashore innumerable. These all died in faith, not having received the promises. These all died in faith, not having received the promises, but having seen them afar off. Hey, through the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah, man, we know it's coming. We can't see it, but we know it's coming, man. And were persuaded of them, and embraced them, and confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims on the earth. Hold on. This is Second Ezra. I thought about this when I was reading that. This is Second Ezra 16 and 40, right? Apostle Hall did a video just trusting the Lord about a week ago, I think, right? So, like, when we be reading about how we're gonna be on as pilgrims on the earth, hey, as Apostle Hall said, man, the enemy gonna have to see the elect getting beamed up, man. Whomever the elect are, they're gonna have to be seen getting beamed up, right? So it's this second Ezra 16 and 40. Oh, my people, hear my word, make you ready to thy battle. And in those evils, be even as pilgrims upon the earth, ready to go at a moment of time. Take that in 1 Corinthians 7. It say right here, it say verse 41. Being as pilgrims on the earth, ready to go, like Lot, right? Ready to go. No matter how much riches you got, what you accumulated, you ready to go at a moment's time, man. It doesn't matter, right? I was thinking about this when I was reading in the Hebrews. It say, "Oh, my people, hear my word, make you ready to the battle. And in those evils, be even as pilgrims upon the earth." So you prepare now. So when jigger trouble come, hey, you ain't got nothing to look back for. Just like Lot, man. He ain't care about none of that, but his wife did. It say, "He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that will lose. He that occupieth merchandise as he that have no profit by it, and he that buildeth as if that he shall not dwell therein. He that soweth as if he should not reap. So also he that planteth the vineyard as he that shall not gather the grapes. They that marry as they that shall get no children, and they that marry not as widows, and therefore they that labor in vain." Let's get a precept to this. 1 Corinthians chapter 7. Let's get this. This is 1 Corinthians 7 and verse 29. It reads, "But this I say, brethren, the time is short, it remaineth, that both they that have wives be as though they have none, and they that weep as though they wept not, and they that rejoice as though they rejoice not, and they that buy as though they possess not." Same thing it says in 2 Corinthians 16, right? These are the pilgrims. Don't care about the world, man, right? what is that? 1 John 2 and 15. It's saying they that use the world as not abusing it, because you're gonna once you accumulate, you ain't gonna want to leave these things. For the fashion of this world passeth away. But I will have you without carefulness. He that is unmarried, care for the things that belong to the Lord, how he may please the Lord. But he that is married, care for the things that are of the world, how he may please his wife. So, being a pilgrim on the earth, man. Hey, let's read this again in Hebrews. Hey, this is cold, man. This is cold. Hebrews 11 and verse Hebrews 11:13. It say, these all died in faith, not having received the promises, but having seen them afar off, and were persuaded of them, and embraced them, and confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims on the earth. Why are we pilgrims on the earth? Because we don't have no certain dwelling place, man. Okay? That's why I tell you up in Hebrew when he let me go back. It say Hebrews 11:9. It said, by faith, Abraham, when he was called to go out into a place which he should after receive for inheritance, obeyed. He didn't know where he was going. He didn't know where the Lord was leading him at. It say, and he went out, not knowing whether he went. This is being a pilgrim, man. It said, because we don't have no certain dwelling place. We are not out in our kingdom. We ain't gonna be into our kingdom until Yahweh shall come, man. So we have been pilgrims on the planet Earth since we've been kicked out the land, man. We've been pilgrims since we've been kicked out, man. By faith, he sojourned in the land of promise, as in a strange country, dwelling as in a strange country. Where are we at today, man? Scattered throughout the four corners of the earth in a strange country. We are not in our land. And if you is in the land, your ass don't supposed to be there, man. It's a for by faith he soldiered in the land of promise, as in a strange country, dwelling in the tabernacle with Isaac and Jacob, and the heirs which him and the heirs with him, which are the same promise. For he looked for a city which had foundation, whose builder maker is God. We looking for a city to come, man. We looking for this. Until we get the kingdom, we are pilgrims on the earth, man. Through faith also, Sarah, which I read there. Let's jump back down. Hebrews 11:13 again. These all died in faith, not having received the promises, but having seen them afar off, and were persuaded of them, and embraced them, and confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims on the earth. For they that shall, it say, for they that say such things declare plainly that they seek a country. And we do. We still doing this, man. And we ain't gonna stop until, hey, you see the New Jerusalem coming down out of heaven, man. And truly, if they had been mindful of that country from whence they came out, they may have had opportunity to have returned. Hey, we wait on Yahweh Shai, wait on the Heavenly Father Yahweh to send us back, man. Hey, I ain't no elder, brother. I ain't no elder. Hey, the water for the you know, but I ain't no elder, brother. I'm just a young brother in the faith. I ain't no elder, brother. But the water though, it say Hebrews 11 and 15, and truly, if they had been mindful of that country from whence they came out, they may have had opportunity to have returned. But now the desire, but now they desire a better country, that is, an heavenly. Wherefore power is not ashamed to be called their power, for he had prepared for them a city. By faith, Abraham, when he was tried, offered up Isaac, and he that had received the promises offered up his only begotten son. And tell you that in Galatians, man. Isaac was Abraham's only begotten son, man, of whom it was said that in Isaac shall thy seed be called. Hey, man, this faith, this is what we got to have, man. This is what we got to have, man, to get through these times, man. I just want to go through a little bit of that. I just want to read a few of those precepts, man. This is about faith, man. This is about faith, man. And we're going to need it. Oh, let's get this. Revelation 2 and 10, it reads, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried. And ye shall have tribulation 10 days, but be thou faithful unto death, and I'll give thee a crown of life. Aaron said, you shall have tribulation 10 days. This is John 16 and 33. These things have I spoken unto you, that in me you might have peace. In the world you shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer. Salakia, I have overcome the world. There is no worries, man. You have no business worrying about nothing, man. Hey, just be patient and wait, man. The thing that you think you need, the Lord said he know them before you know it, man. That's in Matthew 6. All we gotta do is be patient and stay faithful, man. And just like in Egypt, we shall get delivered, man. Lord willing, man. Or I'm gonna say it like this: the elect will get delivered, man. No matter what. No matter what this devil's gonna bring, no matter what this devil's gonna try. It tell you in Job 5, the Lord shall disappoint, they shall not be able to perform their enterprise, man. Knowing that, hey, we know, man, the elect will get delivered, man. We don't know how or when. It doesn't matter, man. Just know he's gonna do it, man. You gotta have faith, man. You gotta have faith. You gotta have faith, man. The Lord can do anything at any time, man. At any time, man. But he do things. That's why when you read with the second Ezra 4 and 37, he do things through measurement, man. Let's close with that. This is second Ezra 4 and 37. By measure, it say by measure have he measured the times, and by number have he numbered the times, and he doeth not move nor stir them until the said measure be fulfilled. So, hey, we ain't worry about nothing, man. Whatever it don't matter what it is. Bills, whatever it is, man. Whatever it is, man. Bills, food, transportation, work. Don't worry about it, man. This is what, hey, that's why I tell you that we mind heavenly things, and the worst of the world mind earthly things, man. Our conversation is of heaven, man. Don't worry about nothing, man. The Lord got you, man. No matter what, hey, the Lord is going to take care of you, man. By measure have he measured the times, and by number have he numbered the times, and he doeth not move nor stir them until the said measure be fulfilled. Let me get this. This is second Ezra. Let me see. Second Ezra is 2, I think. It's second Ezra 2 and verse I'm gonna start at 38. Listen to this. Remember this, man. Second Ezra 2 and 38. Arise up and stand. Behold, the number of those that be sealed in the feast of the Lord. The elect is already sealed, man. We just don't know who they are. And it doesn't matter, man. That's what Paul say. Put on therefore as the elect, man. Fight. Hey, fight for your crown, man. Verse 39 say, which are departed from the shadow of the world and have received glorious garments of the Lord. Hey, which are departed from the shadow of the world. And right now, man, the hopeful elect have departed from the shadow of the world, man. Micah 2 and 10. Arise and depart, for this is not your rest, man. Spiritually, emotionally, mentally, man. You got to leave this place, man. Because the hopeful elect conversation is of heaven, man. It say, I love this verse 4 to say, take thy number, O Zion. How you gonna do that? Take thy number, O Zion, and shut up those of thine that are clothed in white, which have fulfilled the law of the Lord. Take thy number. Put on, therefore, as the elect, man. Put on, man. Do the work. Build your faith up. Because if you ain't doing this, you're gonna lose, man. You're gonna lose. Hey, the water for the precepts. Lord, what is edifying? Gotta give all praise and glory to Yahweh. Bahashem Yahweh Shah. Bahashem Rekak Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who rule well, who teach well. God, apostles and elders of all of Israel, ready accepted or not. And the sincere salutation to all the doctrine, pushing this truth and believing the truth towards the four ends of the earth, the entire world, wicked and the hope for the elect. Shalom to the outwalk who are listening and learning, the few sisters who are listening and learning. Lord, what is edifying to the next time I say shalom, wa, ba, the water for tuning in. May Yahweh Shema shall continue to bless you in your houses. Stay Prayed up. Lord willing, this video ain't breaking up and all, because it still said my connection is unstable. Lord, I hope, Lord willing, this video ain't all chopped up, man. But the water for tuning in, the water, stay prayed up, man. Hey, it's only gonna get better from here, man. It's only gonna get better, man. As we looking for Babylon the Great to fall, 2/3 looking for it to stay built. Hey, it's only gonna get greater, man. But for 2/3, it's not. But for the hopefully elect, it's only going to get greater, man. Stay prayed up, because these devils is ready, man. They ready to roll. They just got to set a few more things in place. Hey, and they're going to be ready to roll, man. So stay prayed up, man. Don't worry about nothing else. The Lord said in Matthew 6, don't worry about what you're going to eat or what you're going to put on. That applies to job, transportation, everything, man. Don't worry about it, man, because it's all going to be taken away. And as our forefathers have been as pilgrims, hey, I meant to mention too. Think about Elijah, man. What Elijah went through, man. Hey, pilgrims on the earth, man. That's us, because we have no certain dwelling place, man. Other one.